Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Um, Today I'm going to be telling you about the 5 things I wish I knew before starting my small business. So if you've watched my previous videos, you'll have some kind of idea about what I used to do. So I bought a Cricut machine in 2020, and that was at the beginning of the pandemic. So I was on maternity leave and I felt like I needed to make a little bit of extra cash. So I bought myself a Cricut machine and I just started to teach myself from the basics. I was actually using YouTube and watching videos and learning about it at the time. Um, and then I was learning along the way, and there were certain things that I felt like would not be would be beneficial for me to kind of tell other people, because then they won't have to go through what I went through. So these are the 5 things that I wish I knew. So firstly, pricing. So there's a few things I wanted to go over with pricing. So I did not make a business model before I started my small business. I had an idea of what I wanted to sell. So it was primarily cake toppers, and then it kind of moved on from there. So I started selling vinyl, stickers, and things like that. And personalized frames and other things as well. But it was the majority of my sales were cake toppers. Um, I didn't have a business model, so initially I just went in thinking I could just price my cake toppers similar to the prices that I was seeing other people selling their cake toppers at, like similar cake toppers to mine. The problem with that was that there are businesses that have been doing this for a long time, and they will be buying their materials in huge bulk, which, if you're a small business, you would not initially be buying your materials at the same prices as these big businesses. They may have started off small too, but their prices would have been different during those times. So it's a good idea to have a look at other businesses and their prices, but you can't compare your small business exactly with their business, because they've been doing it for a lot longer, and their prices and their requirements and their overheads and everything would be different. So definitely have a look and a research around what other people are pricing their items at, but you need to take into consideration your time, how long it might take you to make a cake topper. If it takes you initially, an hour to make a cake topper, you're not going to be charging £1 50 for a cake topper, because it's just not going to be worth your time at all. Okay, so at the beginning, you might have a lot of waste, meaning you might have a lot of trials using different materials, and it might go to waste because it doesn't come out the way you expect it to, or it might not be the right material that you bought, and in which case it will go to waste. So you need to take that into consideration. And if you are doing test runs of your machine, ideally do it with a small project. So don't do a full A4 project as your first attempt. Maybe do like a small 1 centimeter by 1 centimeter, a little trial run on a piece of cardstock, and then if it goes the way you want it to and it cuts correctly, then move on to the bigger projects afterwards. Oh, we spoke about this already. So don't undersell your products. Make sure you take everything into consideration, all your overheads, etc., etc. Okay, so where to get your materials? If you shop online, then obviously you would be looking at online websites like Amazon, and any of these websites, to be honest. They do all sell online, but places like Amazon, you can't actually physically go into a store and go and check out what they have. So other shops like Hobbycraft and the works, you can actually get a feel for what it is that you're buying. So I'll put a few questions here. Is the cheapest option really an option? Should everything I use be branded, and are the most expensive materials the best quality? You have to see for yourself what your first of all, what your financial position is. If you feel like you can't afford the most expensive products, then you might well start using cheaper products and then move on to more expensive materials later on in your business. If you feel like you want to have a luxury brand and you don't want to be using cheaper products, then you might start straight away using the more luxury products. But that does not necessarily mean that it will have to be the most expensive, because people price their items at whatever they want. So you don't need to go down the list of all the different types of vinyl and then look at the most expensive one and then buy that one thinking that it's going to be the best, because that's not necessarily the case. I tried and tested quite a few before I decided what I would stick to. My vinyl that I ended up going with, which was a surprise to me and I just came across by chance, I went to a B&Q store and I saw DC Fix. So it's like adhesive vinyl, and I had no idea if that would actually work in a Cricut machine. And actually I bought some of it. I actually bought DC Fix at the time to use on a bench that I was covering, and then I ended up buying a roll of gold DC Fix that I used as the vinyl for a frame. So I used it as a frame. I'll try and insert an image. And and it just worked really well, and it was way cheaper than what the ones I was buying. I was buying the original Cricut vinyl, and it was a lot cheaper than that. So I just felt like I'd hit a gold mine when I found that product. I can link some of the products that I've been buying for my small business below, so I can do that after this. Okay, this is the one that I might end up having a few story times about this, because there's so many things that happened when I was running my small business. So the first one I put up there is unsupported family and friends. Now this is actually something that can be looked at in many ways, but one of the reasons why I've put this in is because it's not only feeling unsupported, it's actually how do I explain it? Okay, sometimes people do things that you feel like might not show you support, but they might not realize that they're doing that. So for example, when I was on social media kind of listing what I'm doing on my business page, and I was saying on there that share and subscribe to this channel or whatever it is, I would expect my family to kind of do the same because they were supporting me, and that wasn't happening. So I felt like the people who I was expecting to be my biggest cheerleaders weren't, which, to be honest, I think I was just very sensitive at the beginning because I wanted my business to go so well. And I felt like the people who were closest to me should be also having that same fire, but that's not the case. The person who's going to have the most fire in their belly about their business is you. So you need to just fight for whatever you want yourself. And if there's something that you want people to do, you need to be very clear to them specifically that that's what you need, for them to love you and to show you support. Because they might not realize it themselves, or they might just miss one of your posts and not realize that they want you to share these posts. And I'm rambling on, but I can't get into specifics right now. But if you want a story time about how things went for me with specific people, then let me know in the comments. Returns. So obviously, if you are starting off a small business, you don't really want to be saying no to people, but you need to learn what the boundaries are and what the requirements are for you and your business, and what you expect from people and what people should expect from you. So in terms of returns, I always put a disclaimer on my socials that any cake toppers or vinyls or anything that was personalized, I would not accept returns for, unless there was some kind of damage to the product. So for example, I make a cake topper and it says happy birthday Susie. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be taking that return and selling it on to somebody else, both because it's unhygienic and also because I'm probably not going to have another customer named Susie for a very long time. So you have to be clear about that with people. And at the beginning, there were times when people would come back to me and they'll say, "Oh, I don't like it. I want a return," but I would go along with it because I was so scared of the backlash of what might happen. But you need to have thick skin, and you need to know what your boundaries are, and you need to just go with it. Okay, bad reviews. The first time I got a bad review, oh my goodness, I was crying. I literally was so upset because it was on eBay and I was selling a cake topper, and somebody gave me a bad review without contacting me first and without, explaining why. And to be honest, looking back on it, I can understand why they gave that, because that was at a time where I wasn't using the best quality card stock, and I thought that because these were products that were kind of like disposable, because you wouldn't be using a cake topper again, I didn't think it would be that big of a deal having card stock that was flimsy or whatever, but it was a big deal, and this customer was very unhappy, so unhappy that they left me a really bad review, and it really upset me. But you know what, you live and you learn, and I learned from that, and I worked on it, and I took their advice, and I just made myself better. And the more that you do that, the better your business will become, and the less bad reviews you'll get. So luckily I only had 1 or 2 bad reviews in the time that I've been doing my business. So yeah. Okay, so fees. There are so many fees involved with business. So one of the ones that I kind of had to I was dipping in and out of Cricut Access. So Cricut Access was I can go into a separate video about Cricut Access, but there is actually a free trial that you can use on Cricut Access. So if you want to get the trial and then try it out for a month, you can do that, and then if you like it, you can use their products, and if you don't, then you don't need to, but I can do a separate video on that. Postage fees, you can just go to your local post office or wherever it is that you're going to be sending your packages from for your small business, and you can get a list of all the fees and all the costs for sending out your packages or your letters or whatever it is that you're going to be sending, and it's better to have just a copy of it in front of you. I'm sure you can find it online as well, but I just like having things in front of me. Seller platforms, eBay, Etsy, Shopify, all the rest of them, they all have fees involved. So you need to, wherever you're going to be selling from, make sure that you check out what percentage they will be taking from there. I forgot to actually add to that PayPal fees. So eBay now, they don't use PayPal for sellers, so you can actually just go directly through eBay and you can get your payments directly through eBay. I haven't used Etsy and Shopify in a while, so I don't know how theirs would work, but you can check out their terms and conditions and you can find out about that. Okay, so you will lose sleep. And part of that is because it is time consuming to make the products, to design the products, to do all of these things all by yourself. I used to, because I was on maternity leave, I used to wake up in the night to feed the baby, and while I was feeding the baby, I would be designing my products on my phone. It was just crazy. I was barely sleeping. I was probably getting maybe 3 hours of sleep a night, and even when the baby fell asleep, I was still so consumed in this. I was designing, and I just couldn't put my phone down because I was Design Space. You can get the app on your phone as well, so I used to have it on my phone, and then during the day I would use it on my laptop. It was a lot, and it is very stressful because you want it to be perfect and you don't want to have any issues, and there will be things that come up But those are things, if you can overcome the issues, then that's where you'll, at the end, there is light at the end of the tunnel and you will find success. It's just, you need to just stick at it, and you need to, go over those bumps in the road and just get over them, and you need to suck it up and just, deal with it, because at the end of the day, nothing comes without hard work. And I'm sure that everybody has the ability to do it. It's just that you can't give up at the first, with the first issue that you have. And there's been so many people that I've spoken to, and I've tried to motivate by telling them that, they might not be having sales today, and they might not be having sales tomorrow, and they might not have sales a month down the line, but if you are consistent, you will get there and it will happen. And you need to trust yourself, and you started this whole thing for a reason. So yeah, that's my motivational speech for the day. So I'm just going to end it on this. When you support a small business, you are supporting a dream, and I truly believe that. And if you are going to be starting your own business, I wish you every success. Feel free to check out my other videos. I will be posting more videos about how to use Cricut, Design Space, and maybe later on also, showing how to use the machine itself. But yeah, thank you for watching my video. Take care and goodbye.